A brilliant flame tore through the silence of space, illuminating the darkness as a sleek Chinese spacecraft embarked on an extraordinary quest. This was no ordinary mission. This was humanity reaching once again for the ancient world that has captivated our imagination since we first gazed upward at the night sky. This was Change 5, named after the mythological Chinese goddess of the moon, and it was about to rewrite our understanding of Earth's celestial companion. For generations, we believed we knew the moon. A dead world. A silent witness. A barren wasteland of dust and rock. We were wrong. On November 23, 2020, as the world grappled with a global pandemic, China quietly launched one of the most ambitious space missions of the decade. Thunder rumbled across Hainan's shores as Change 5 lifted off, carrying with it the dreams of a nation and the curiosity of all humanity. Weighing nearly 8 tons, this technological marvel represented the culmination of decades of planning, innovation, and determination. Its mission seemed deceptively simple: land on untouched lunar plains, drill beneath the surface, retrieve moon rocks, and return them safely to Earth. But the implications? Revolutionary. For the first time since the Soviet lunar missions of the 1970s, nearly half a century earlier, fresh lunar material would come home to Earth. While Apollo astronauts had brought back lunar samples in the late 1960s and early 1970s, Change 5 targeted an entirely different region, one that promised to reveal chapters of the moon's history we've never been able to read before. Show animation of spacecraft components. The spacecraft itself was a masterpiece of engineering, consisting of 4 distinct modules working in perfect harmony. 1. An orbiter to circle the moon. 2. A lander to touch down on the surface. 3. An ascent vehicle to blast off again with the precious samples. 4. A return capsule designed to survive the fiery plunge back through Earth's atmosphere. This complex choreography of components had to work flawlessly. A single failure would doom the entire mission. The margin for error? 0. While previous missions had targeted the familiar near side of the moon, Change 5 set its sights on a region that held special promise: Oceanus Procellarum, the ocean of storms. This vast volcanic plain stretched beyond the horizon like a frozen sea of ancient lava, never before visited by humans or their robotic emissaries. Nearby rose Mons Rumker, a solitary volcanic mound towering above the plains, a silent monument to the moon's fiery youth. But why this particular spot? What secrets could it hold? Unlike the landing sites chosen for Apollo missions, this region was shaped by massive volcanic events and giant asteroid impacts that occurred much later in the moon's history. While Apollo samples dated back nearly 4.5 billion years, scientists believed the ocean of storms might contain rocks as young as 1.2 billion years old, practically adolescent by lunar standards. These younger samples would fill a crucial gap in our understanding, bridging the ancient volcanic eruptions of the early moon with its later, quieter eras. They would tell us when the moon's volcanoes last erupted, how its magnetic field evolved, and perhaps even when water first appeared on its surface. On the moon, time is ruthless. Without an atmosphere to trap heat, temperatures swing wildly between extremes. When the sun sets, the lunar night brings cold so intense it would freeze electronics solid. Change 5 had just one lunar day, about 14 Earth days, to complete its entire surface mission before darkness would plunge the landing site into temperatures below -280 degrees Fahrenheit, -173 degrees Celsius. On December 1, 2020, after precisely calculated orbital maneuvers, the lander separated from the orbiter and began its descent. Mission controllers held their breath as the spacecraft navigated autonomously toward its target, using laser ranging and 3D imaging to avoid hazards. At 15:11 UTC, a message crackled across space: touchdown confirmed. Change 5 had arrived on alien terrain, its solar panels unfurled to capture precious energy while the sun still shone. The clock was now ticking. With robotic precision that would make a surgeon envious, Change 5 deployed its instruments. A panoramic camera captured the desolate beauty of the landing site, a landscape untouched by anything but cosmic rays and micrometeorites for billions of years. The real work, however, happened beneath the surface. Unlike previous missions that merely scraped the lunar dust, Change 5 came equipped with a drill capable of penetrating 2 meters into the regolith. This depth would reach layers untouched by solar radiation, preserving pristine chemical signatures from the Moon's past. For hours, the drill bored downward, extracting cores of compacted dust and rock. Simultaneously, a mechanical scoop collected surface samples from different locations around the lander. By the mission's end, the spacecraft had amassed approximately 1.7 kilograms, 3.7 pounds, of lunar material, a treasure more scientifically valuable than all the gold in Fort Knox. But collecting the samples was only half the challenge. Now they had to get back to Earth. With the lunar night rapidly approaching, Change 5 faced its most critical test. On December 3, the ascent module ignited its engines in a brilliant flash, becoming the first spacecraft to blast off from the lunar surface in 44 years. Rising away from its landing stage, the ascent module carried its precious cargo upward through the vacuum, chasing the orbiter that circled overhead. What followed was perhaps the most challenging aspect of the entire mission, a rendezvous and docking in lunar orbit. Unlike rendezvous in Earth orbit, which benefit from GPS and ground station guidance, this docking had to occur nearly 240,000 miles from Earth with minimal direct control from mission operators. The two spacecraft, traveling at thousands of miles per hour, had to find each other, match velocities perfectly, and connect with the precision of a threading needle in the dark. On December 5, they succeeded, another space first for China. The samples were transferred to the return capsule, and the ascent module was jettisoned, its work complete. Kindly like, share and subscribe our channel for further more updates about space.